Welcome to our Friday playlist for Friday, February 26, 2021. Our second week in this Lenten sermon series, The Long and Winding Road, is taken from another Beatles song. It was one that was planned for that 1970 Let It Be album. This week's selection, our sermon subtitle, Save the Last Dance for Me. During the Get Back, Let It Be sessions, recording sessions, in January 1969, the Beatles played a short impromptu variation of this song. It was supposed to be on Let It Be album. You'll understand when you go to YouTube and listen to it why it didn't make the cut. Nevertheless, many bootleg versions include this. The original song was written by Doc Pomus, recorded by the Drifters, featured Benny King before he left the group. It was recorded originally as the B-side of a single, and Dick Clark made the fortuitous decision to play the B-side on Top 40 Radio. The lyrics read, "You can dance every dance with the guy who gave you the eye and let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand 'neath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taken you home and in whose arms you're going to be. So, darling, save the last dance for me. Laugh and sing while we're apart. Don't give your heart to anyone. Don't forget who's taken you home and in whose arms you're going to be. Save the last dance for me." This week's gospel has Jesus telling his disciples the Son of Man must undergo great suffering and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. He said all this quite openly. You can find that at Mark 8:31 and 32. Peter immediately said, "No, Jesus, not you." And Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." Peter had forgotten who brought him to the dance, and tragically, as we will see closer to Holy Week, Peter didn't dance the last dance with Jesus. So there were some real issues brewing between Peter and Jesus, issues that would seem to most of us to have been deal breakers for their relationship. But Jesus isn't us. Our second song this week is by the Australian-American duo For King and Country. That's Joel and Luke Smallbone. Their song, God Only Knows, reminds us of our hope in Jesus. Wide awake while the world is sound asleep and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody would believe you. Every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories. They somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody would believe you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. Yes, God only knows how we, like Peter, have failed and fallen. God only knows, and that's why God gave us his one and only Jesus. What did Jesus say? The Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. Luke 19:10. Jesus did not come for pretty good people. Jesus didn't come for those who think they're all that. Jesus came for the folks like you and me and Peter who are terrified that somebody might find out the real us. And God already knows the real us. And God loves us and intends to save us anyway. So, dear friends, take heart and remember what Jesus said. And when I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to be with me. That's John 14:3. God has saved the last dance for you, but don't forget who's taken you home and in whose arms you're going to be. So, darling, save the last dance for me. Both songs are on YouTube. Look for the Beatles song, and it will leave you glad they didn't include it on the final cut of Let It Be. The For King and Country song is on a version featuring just the Smallbone Brothers, but there's another one you might look for that includes Dolly Parton. It will be worth the watching. Thanks for listening.